All right, so we got our game. Where'd it go? And then let me get my code over here. Okay, so the way we start, Pygame.update. We need, as our code stands, it will throw everything on screen and that's it. It runs through everything once because we have 0 loops. We don't want that. We want our code, obviously, to loop through so we can continue to play it. So what we're going to do, we don't need to continually load in a character. Once you've loaded in a character and assigned an image to a variable, you don't have to do that again. So we've assigned our player character, our grass background, and our castle. So we don't need to do that anymore. But we do, is our character going to move across the screen? Yeah. So we need to make sure that that needs to get looped. So basically, everything we see needs to be put into a loop. So we're going to start with a while true. Actually, I can't remember if that's what we start with. You know what? No, we'll do this. Put while running equal 1, and then we're going to make running equal 1. So add those 2 lines. Highlight all those lines and indent them 1. Everything we write from now on, unless I specifically tell you, is going to be inside this while loop indented once. You highlight it all, and then it's a shortcut that was on the quiz that actually no one got right. So control, close bracket. However, seeing as that no one got that right, it will be on another quiz. Make sure you know it. Yes?
Can't you also click tab?
No. Yes, you can. I don't know how to undo it, though. So you can highlight and click tab. I was wrong. I did not know that. But I don't know how to untab it. But if you hit enter, it deletes it. So
then the control and the tab are the same thing. It's just that.
Control close bracket is the same as tab. I don't know what control open bracket does, or how to with the same thing as that. So again, control close bracket scoots it to the right. Control open bracket moves it to the left. Tab moves it to the right. But I don't know of anything besides control close bracket that moves it to the left. Okay. So now when our game goes, it's not going to look any different. Except it might actually freeze. So what we need to do, one of the first things we need to do is get our code the ability to be closed out. Okay? So before we do anything, we need our code to be able to be closed out so it doesn't crash. So underneath this, we're going to write a for loop. So for event. Now, I got to explain, once you guys have written that, I need you guys to pay attention up here. Really wish that would look more like it does on my screen, but okay. So in our game, the way it works is Pygame waits for inputs from us. There's a pipeline of inputs that it cycles through, kind of like Tetris. You guys have all played Tetris. You know how you have the blocks over here and you wait for them to enter and then you maneuver them? What Pygame is doing is it's waiting for our inputs, and our inputs are like the incoming Tetris pieces in the pipeline. So but we have to code that pipeline in and Pygame's ability to read it. So what we're doing is we have a pipeline, we have a command that will get the events in Pygame, the pipeline, and then we have to define those events. So what we're doing is for every event in this pipeline, we need to evaluate it to see what it's doing. We're only gonna code what happens if they type the X button, if they hit the X button to close it, the mouse button, and then moving. What you guys can do is for your own game, you guys can code as many things as you want. You guys can code in cheat codes. So if you hold SP4, boom, it's God mode or whatever. So you can do those sorts of things with this next section of code. So again, we're gonna do for event in pygame.event.get. Pretty self-explanatory there, right? It gets the event in Python. Once you have that, just take a look. All right, what does? Oh, I don't have a shell open. So if we have x is 10, type.x, what does this give us? It tells us what type of variable that is, right? That's an integer. Does that make sense? Yes, no, maybe so.
Yeah.
I need you guys. I need interaction, or else I just don't stop. So what we're then coding is if the event dot type equals a certain one. So depending on what they type, we need to code, is it a key down? Are they pushing a key down? Are they pushing a mouse down? Are they doing something else? Are they trying to resize the screen? Are they trying to close out of it? All this sort of stuff. We need to code that in. So what we're doing is we are coding in what happens if they click the X button. So all we do for that, and the code for the X button is pygame.quit, all capital, and that's it. And then we do pygame.quit and exit.
Can you run it now?
Yes, and when you run it,
Wait, does Pygame.quit and if event type equal Pygame.quit, is that in parentheses?
no. What do you mean if it's in parentheses? There's no parentheses in this
No,
line.
you need parentheses after the quit.
No. Because it's not a fun. Yes, Brandon.
I'm getting type error saying that there's something wrong with me declaring my images or putting my images.
Your images, you probably have, is it a type error or can't find the file error?
Type error.
What are you doing with the player in screen.blit? What line is it telling you the error is in? Is it when you create the variable or when you blit it?
When I put it.
Do you have a comma after player? Do you have this line exactly as is? And what did it say, type error what?
There's line 19, which is screen.lit grass, which is a directory we have up there. And then says argument notified must be pygame.surface, not screen.
You don't have an image loaded incorrectly for grass. So I'll take a look at that, or you can comment out anything that has grass right now because you don't actually need it, and we'll take a look at it. So once you have this, oop, what'd I do? What? What?
Did you exit?
No, I shook this. That's annoying.
I got the player to move.
You got the player to move?
Yeah.
Unless you coded in how to move and you're working ahead then. Because currently you should not be able to move. You've not coded in movement.
Yeah.
So, but when you click the X screen, it closes it. It says, do you want to kill your code? Yes. So now our screen no longer crashes. Do you guys have questions on this? For all of our inputs from now on, they have to be even with this if. It has to be under this. Because, yes, Anna. Say that again? Yeah, no, this is stuff that I just threw in there so you guys can see. We're going to edit all that. So I would go with how to move your character, but that needs a lot of copying and pasting code, but some other stuff. So we're not going to get to that today, but what we are going to do is we are going to use a for loop to fill our background with grass. So notice in our game, which I don't have up, our grass is only like not that much of the screen. So what we're going to do, yes.
So my what's it called? My dude isn't like facing somewhere like that.
Which way is he facing?
He's facing. He's facing. He's facing towards the bottom of the screen.
That's fine. We're gonna rotate him anyway. So obviously, I don't want to have screen.fill here. I don't want to manually do the coordinates because that's lame. But I could. But what do we know? How do we know how to repeat code, right? So what do you think we're going to use? Is there a certain number of squares we need to fill in? Yes. So what type of loop? Can we count them? For loops. Yes, nested for loops. Did you find this online?
No.
No? Okay. So what we're going to do is we can actually get rid of these grass. Actually, no, don't do that. Don't do that because we're going to repurpose them. However, now the way this is going to work, so let me actually bring up this screen. So the way this for loop is going to work is we are going, oh, nope, that's not what I wanted. I want full screen snip. Set that over there. I don't know when we get out of here. So if we started at 46, probably get out at 31, so I got 3 minutes. So what it's going to do is it's going to, oh, it's over here. Hang on. All right. So I was wrong. So basically what it's, just so you guys know when we get to this, it's going to cut this into squares like this and then do the same thing here.
Should be headed out to the
and then at this
field
location,
for the
it's going to
assembly.
blit the
Right
grass.
now,
At that
that's all
location, it's going to
software.
blit the grass. And so it's going to tile the image across the whole screen so that we don't have to do anything.
Also, these following students.
Does that
please
make sense?
their way out to the
All right,
assembly.
so
sophomores and the following students: Canyon Roberts, Sydney Yan, Noah Miller, Dylan Hawks, Katie Lokshin,
so
Matthew Pasiak, Anna Trott, Luke Shafi,
Those-
Sophie Shelton,
these kids should know
Isaac
that they're going.
Lakasha, Libby O'Toole, and Jacob
Okay,
Covey.
so,
Please also make their way out to the assembly.
Zoom people, we're done. There is a link I think I need to share with you guys, or at least if you, I'll share the screen so you guys can watch it. You guys have to stay. It's the assembly.
Oh no, he's a sophomore. We're sophomores. So we're going out.
Oh, green is see in my high school, yellow were sophomores.
Oh.
So every year I get confused. Okay, yeah, you guys can go. But you two online, I will share the screen with you, and you guys can watch it with us. I gotta stop.